I'm just saying from that 4B movement from a nationwide, like a nationwide thing, that would be very empowering. That's all I'm saying. That way y'all can't be stopped. You see what I'm saying? From a
I think
political
that
standpoint, you can't be stopped.
politically, yeah, we can do that, but I agree with the chat. Like, if 30 to 40% of women just engage in that, the more the merrier. But we don't put the political system would automatically fall. Do you understand that these individuals are heavily dependent on us to affirm themselves, to affirm who they are, to create their legacies? Like, they
Mm-hmm.
literally depend on us to make their world go round. It does not work that way for women. So even, for example, the comment from Mr. Thomas, like, we don't know what we're talking about. They can't even comprehend that we don't care what they think. Like, it's actually maniacal, right? So I don't even think we need to even enter the political atmosphere. You can simply just abstain,
I'm
quite
saying
quite
you
literally.
can, yeah, you can choose to do that, but I'm saying, I'm not saying that, and I hope I know, and I'm not saying that y'all idea on the 4B movement is a bad thing. I have told Beware that I support the idea of it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's very empowering. All I am saying is my only concern, which would be a con and a drawback that could affect the movement for women, would be my concern of how the state will react in a form of when there's no children, because the 4B say no dating, no children, and that is a big factor as far as reproduction. In the United States, the birth rates will go down tremendously.
So
And
you're
I am saying
saying
there's a lot of men in power that may look at that as it is affecting their system. And so that is what I'm
But I'm
saying.
gonna be
We need
honest,
a
women to
the
back you
threat.
the
up.
the birth rate is down though. The birth rate
But
is
So
beware,
down
but
so
no,
you're
tremendously.
saying
I'm
Wait,
systemically infiltrate all levels of politics.
hold
That's
on
basically
yeah,
what
because
one
you're
I'm
second.
I'm
saying.
I'm I'm trying to I'm
No, because
saying
I
because I'm saying if
Yeah, I
beware.
kind of get what she's saying
Yeah, I'm
too.
saying if nobody, like imagine every woman in the United States, listen, every woman in the United States believed what Beware and all of this movement is about. And they said they're not having sex, they're not having babies, they're not getting married. In other words, there would be no new children born. Okay? If that movement presided for so long and we stood on that and men was not bending to what women were saying, my concern would be we don't have enough women inside of the state or inside of the United States, the federal government that can back us up. Because if the government sees that the reproduction goes down, they may see that as a problem. Because that means no babies are born
But
within, let's say this movement
listen, hold
lasted for
on.
5 years.
We're already there. Y'all, hold on.
Okay, I'm
See,
gonna be
no, we're already there. What I'm trying to explain to y'all is we're already there. That's why they took away abortions. Ding, 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 ding. We are already there. The birth rates are down. They said y'all don't want to have babies. Let's at least take away abortions.
that's why.
Recently I read an article about, I think in Alabama or Mississippi, they're trying to take away IVF. You want to know why?
Alabama.
Because they. Oh, okay, I'm gonna just let y'all talk. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm not
No,
trying
no,
to.
No, it
I
was
no. I
want to
want to
Alabama.
build
talk. I
with
want
Honey
to
because
speak.
I get what she's saying, but I'm just saying
See,
I'm
this
not
right here
saying that
scares
none of
me
y'all
about
are
an all
wrong,
a all
but
women
I
society because
I
we
want,
I
yes
mean
I
shit.
do.
So my thing is this: what are you scared of? What are you
But
doing?
I
Y'all need to
want
I'm
figure
not
this
Honey
I'm
to
out.
not
finish her
Do
afraid.
you?
fucking
Do you?
thought.
Are you saying?
No, I'm gonna help everybody out. No, because I don't even say much. I've been listening to y'all. Honey was fucking talking. So we're gonna have sisterhood. Let's have sisterhood and speech and let people speak.
Trying.
Honey was fucking talking. Honey, please finish your thought. You said it's already happening. They took away abortion. What were you
Yeah, she
saying?
was responding to me. I was listening.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
so
okay, you know you were ad libbing, and that's why she
That
stopped
wasn't me.
talking.
That was CJ.
Well, somebody shut the fuck up so she can
sorry.
finish. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I was saying like the birth rates are already down, and their response to birth rates being down is to take away abortion. So hopefully, the women who aborted a baby or two can bring forth those babies into the world. So women have already been rejecting men, or deciding not to have children with men, or deciding right now is not the right time for me to have children, and men are already responding in the government. And it doesn't matter, y'all, this is still a patriarchy. America is still a patriarchy, right? So there can be women who are setting policies, and women who can, somebody said earlier, women should be allowed to run this country for hundreds and hundreds of years. I agree, right? But if you haven't noticed, A lot of men are going very far right. And their only purpose of being so far right is to control women. It's not because they want to be conservative. It's not because they think that, oh, God guns in America. No, it's literally because they want women to listen. And a lot of far right extreme rhetoric is about women being submissive, women being dominated, women back in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant. The government, the United States government is already responding. Roe versus Wade.
No,
Like,
what were
that's
you
all I'm
saying
trying to
about the
say.
Alabama and Mississippi? I was trying. What
Oh,
were you
I'm
saying about
sorry.
that?
Yeah, I got cut off. It's in either Alabama or Mississippi. They're trying to take away IVF. If they take away IVF, you know what's next, right? Birth control. I think right now in Alabama and Mississippi, it was a couple weeks where they were trying to take away IVF because something happened with the IVF, and they're saying, okay, well, we're going to take that away also because basically those are unborn children or some weird ass shit they have going on. If they can take away IVF, if they can take away abortions, next will be birth control. I think sometimes we underestimate America and how Proud Boys and these far right conservative and deep rooted Christian men think. They are the most misogynistic men on the planet. A lot of them don't even want women to fucking vote.
Right.
My
Yeah, it's
It's
question
just
though,
Alabama.
And if it
I
gets
thought
so bad,
IVF,
they will abduct
I
women
thought
and have them
IVF
somewhere
helped with it.
chained up
It does help
in the
women,
birth camp.
but you got to think about it this way, Ayana. A lot of women are using IVF as a backup plan to not get pregnant in their 20s or early 30s. So you hear a lot of women now who are in their late 20s or early 30s saying, "Oh, if all else fail, I can always get IVF, right?" A lot of women are choosing IVF. Most women we see pop out twins or they have 3 or 4 kids in their late 30s or early 40s. Some of them are using IVF to help. That's not what America wants. They want you 25, 3 kids in the house pregnant. That's what they want. They want to get back to the good old days.
Honey,
Oh, you're talking
that's
about the IVF,
that
Alabama.
the IVF where you can freeze the side of things where you can like freeze
Freeze the
your
Yeah,
eggs.
eggs.
freeze your
Okay, okay,
embryo.
okay. I was
Yeah.
But
thinking, okay,
y'all,
okay,
it's
okay. Thank
imperative.
yeah,
y'all.
We
I was just
know
trying to understand. You
that
know,
bill has passed. That bill is no longer a pending bill. It has completely
Yeah, they
passed. That's the
passed it.
only reason I was interrupting Honey. It was to let her know it was certainly Alabama and that bill has completely passed.
yeah,
No, they
and
took
I'm
away
not.
IVF in Alabama for real.
Yes.
oh
Wow. See,
my
this is
Just
what's
God.
weird.
just
That's
Google
why I
it.
tell women, y'all have to pay attention to big news
I just put
surrounding
the link
women,
in the chat.
surrounding fertility, because they're literally doing it right now as we speak. Y'all are talking about something women were scared of 6, 7 years ago.
I'm gonna be
Like,
honest. I think this is why men don't
Oh,
need to run the world because they're stupid as fuck. Men are stupid. They had this diabolical plan to decrease the population control, and now women can't damn shit fuck not having sex and not birthing children. It's a lot of women who can't get pregnant. It's a lot of women who literally can't get pregnant because of fibroids, PCOS, and all kind of other shit because they putting shit in our damn food, giving everybody fucking birth control. And now we're not having no motherfucking kids. Either we opted out of having kids or we just can't even get pregnant. Like y'all wanted to control the population so fucking bad. Now y'all done got a control over it, and now it's like, oh fuck, damn, we didn't think no children was gonna be born. Like now it's like, oh, this is a bad idea. Like what the fuck?
yeah.
Me get on my
I mean, and honey, I think me and you stand on the same standpoints as far as I'm aware of what is going on as far as what they're trying to do with the women and having control over the reproductive system 100%. I just think that we need more women in the government, in the government federally, to be able to support the movement, because at that point it will be even more drastic, because at this point the women are saying we are deciding, we're doing this because this is what we want to do, and we're taking our power back on our reproductive system. And it wouldn't be so much the government controlling the situation, it would be more so the citizens, the women of the United States and let it be, let's say it be black, white, Asian, whatever, it's all races of women decide to stand on that. That's what I'm saying. If it becomes nationwide, then having women in politics would be beneficial if the movement is able to get that powerful. That's all I'm
Sis,
saying.
I agree with you. I think that we need to systemically infiltrate all levels of government.
Yes.
Okay. But there's actually a book about this. It was written in the 70s. It's called The Birth Dearth. It's required reading in most like liberal institutions. It's based on the declining birth rate, and they could predict this even in the 70s, how it would cripple our capitalism as we know it, what effect that would have on the aging population. We're already almost to the point where we're selling more adult diapers than children's pampers. There's also a very famous study. Y'all might have heard Princella talk about it. It's the Universe 25 experiment, the imminent threat that society will collapse if they don't continue to like be like nomads and navigate. And since we're insistent on kind of staying in one place as a society because colonialism is no longer societally acceptable, there's so much scholarship on this matter. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
That was where I was coming with it, because I'm like, from a society standpoint, we go, if we gonna push this movement, I'd be like, yo, go all the way. If you gonna push the 4B movement, go all the way. If you can get all women involved on all races of boards and turn it around and get women in government with that 4B mindset, that would change the goddamn game.
But it's like
That's why I said that.
everybody ain't able because a lot of these women were born to be nothing but mules. You know, we have to accept that. Otherwise, our hearts are going to be broken by how many women choose the other side. And I agree with you. I think if we're going to do it, we should do it right. But the problem that I have is even in basic like containers like clubhouse, we can't even get these women to have a discussion without giving the men a seat at the table. Like they can't even thwart free counseling and female interaction, which basically kept these niggas alive during the COVID, if we can be honest. So, how are they going to thwart romance and partnership if they can't thwart having a discussion about things that really that are of no consequence, well, that have no bearing on male opinion without giving them a seat at the table? How
I'm
are
gonna
they
be
going to
honest.
thwart?
I wanted the men to come in here and talk during the 4B conversation today because I want women to hear how men actually think and feel about them. Like it's a lot easier for plenty pick to come up here and say why it's a bad idea, but to actually hear the men, like what the men actually say about you, like how the men really actually feel about you. I mean, at some point, it must change your mind.
You know, Tia, that wasn't a slight to you, but I agree with you. I appreciate
With that
spaces
though,
like
because he
this,
was upset
especially.
earlier when I was like, when they was like, "Why are the men in here? Why are you asking the men?" I'm like, "Damn, I just did a whole fucking all women space yesterday, and you bitches didn't even come."
Yeah, they won't come without men, and that's part of my point. That wasn't a slight to you, okay? That was just saying there could be one or two creators that create a space that's safe for them to come. So especially like take inventory of our gulag. There are young women here. Young women need to hear. That's the only way they're going to wake up. They have to hear how malignant these men are. But for the context of like serious ass discussions, they didn't your mothers teach you like there are some discussions where men shouldn't have a seat at the table? Like my mama
Facts.
told me that all the time. Like that no men, when we talk about these things, we talk about them with no men around. But these women don't have that constitution. They was raised on Disney and they will not stop until they're Belle and they have a beast in their house fucking with their thermostat all night.
But I
And let's
will.
always remember that when a Supreme Court ruled against Roe versus Wade, there were also women who sat at that table and said that they were making America great again, and they were healing families
True.
and bringing women together, and they were happy to take away our abortions because we need to bring more children into America. We need to birth more children. Let's not forget the women who voted against us having abortions.
handmaidens will always be a thing. There are always going to be patriarchy princess and patriarchy queens that love to exist and reside and be up under men, and they will turn your back. They will turn their backs on you every single time for men.
True.
Let's not forget that.
That's a good ass point. That's a good point. I
And
mean, do y'all think like if women stop having babies as a whole, what do y'all think will happen to the human race? Do y'all
immigration.
think it would come to an end at
They just
some point?
immigrate. They just immigrate third world women to come and have their babies for them. We even have maybe
Oh well, for
50
that.
new pieces of legislation. For we were getting sex doll brothels popping up. There were some in Dallas, here in Houston. They were in Colorado. They were in Detroit. Now we have legislation against the sex doll brothels because they were beating the shit out of $12,000 dolls. Like they will find a way. They will fuck a warm hole in the ground. That is not our business. They will make sure they have half American children
Okay.
by any means necessary.
All right. So in other words, the population would still go on. Just I hear you heard. So the human race wouldn't end
Well,
off
Right.
of
yeah,
women.
but no. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because we've seen what's going on right now in Italy and Greece. They're begging people to come there because the women are not populating. So men are stupid, right? I think Tia said this earlier. The same men who are taking away our abortions also don't want other races in this country. They're against immigration. The same men who want you to be barefoot barefoot pregnant in the house, cooking and stirring pots and pans all day, and at church every Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and have seven
Honey,
kids
y'all
are the
don't
same.
remember when they was talking about population control, saying that they predict by such and such year that we'll be over fucking populated? Like they literally was trying to control the population.
True.
And I am like, look what China did. China was trying to control population, and now they trying to pay women to have children. Like these motherfuckers, these are the
They're
same
diabolical.
men. Like these are the same men. Like we what? That's why I don't really understand the male leadership thing. Look at what they do when they're leaders. They don't have good ideas.
They
Exactly. That's
weren't
what I'm
created
saying.
to be
That like when
leaders.
she said
Thank you,
they would
Keisha.
bring women over, I don't really. The same men who don't want you to have abortions, who want you to have seven kids, are the same men who hate Mexicans. They screaming close our borders. It's gonna be a civil war.
These are
In
also
Texas,
the same men that hate single mothers, that hate motherhood.
exactly. So like,
No, I that's a great point, honey. I mean, I totally agree with that. But I'm saying that we don't have the Amerasian Immigration Act in 1982 or the Child Immigration Act for no reason. American men can hate a group of people, and they've proven they could still create a whole million person population within their individual countries of half American babies. Like fucking them, getting them
Yeah,
pregnant,
that's true. They
immigrating
hate
them into the
us.
country is totally separate.
yeah, but we. Oh my God. So yeah, I read a lot. It studies on this. It does not. I dated a very far right conservative white man from North Carolina, and I talked to him about a lot of shit. And the way that he feel about immigration, the way that he feel about others becoming coming to this country, because the problem is a lot of these far right conservatives, like I said, that want you to repopulate, they hate others because they feel like when others come in, they don't give America a lot of loyalty. Don't get me wrong. Yes, these passport bros and stuff like this exist, but most American men cannot afford that. Like I'm just being
True.
honest.
I
They
But
mean,
can't
they'll
afford
stay
it.
here in America and still fuck them. So I think that's like what Keisha's still saying. They can have the most far right views. That don't mean they won't fuck their house maid and get her fucking pregnant.
I mean, I feel like they
That
would in the
that
case of
don't
a
mean they
trust.
won't fuck her. If they'll fuck a fucking sex doll that can't even talk and still they beat sex dolls up.
True.
They beat
And
their
still whoop
ass.
her ass for sure.
Like they
Same.
beat her, they beating up sex dolls because they're not submissive enough and they talk back and they just fucking rule and they don't even know how to get in the right position. Like they beating their ass. They hate women that much that you will even beat up a fucking doll. Like they don't give a fuck. They still want to fuck it.
Yeah, I think if
I
women
I
start having
agree
sex with
with
them
that,
men,
but
they
what
will still
happens to
reproduce
a
it.
woman when she moves to America? She become Americanized. Do y'all see? I
But
got
that
family
don't
from
mean
foreign
they
countries.
won't fuck her and get her pregnant.
Yes, we know they won't. We know that. I understand all of that. But I'm talking about mass immigrating any group of women here to repopulate. That's never going to happen.
But
Like
it is
that.
happening. Have you
That
been
I
paying
that's
attention what's
true.
been
That's
is
going
true.
on in
happening
Texas
for
and
sure.
But
California?
honey
Like
gotta
that
get.
they just signed, like they literally signed. This was in 2023. I think it was January the 26th. I mean January the 16th. Yeah, the conservatives probably didn't want this, but it was the Democrats. They signed the Declaration of North America where the they're working directly with the Mexican people. Like these people are coming over here in droves.
Yeah, but if like honey's saying, I can see that being like if they passport bros and that's who they are. But I mean, American, as I said, if all American women, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever, if they all decided to abide by that and decide not to have sex or date them or nothing, which means they're not giving any of these races babies, I think that the men would
Will
be more
rape
of an
us. I'm gonna be
uproar
honest. That's
before
the
they would
other
go
thing
get it
too that
though.
we gotta be
That's what
honest
I said.
about
They
when it
will
comes to
have
the 4B
birthing
movement.
camps.
They will rape
Because look,
our ass.
because
Hell
what
yeah, they
honey
will
said
have
to what
them
And
honey
as
that's what
said.
I was
servants
trying
from
to
day
Because
say.
what
one.
honey
Trying to
saying is,
get
a
there.
lot of them don't. A lot of white men are
Oh,
against immigration, and they are against people coming here from other countries. So if they white women, for example, refuse, or they Hispanic women refuse, or whatever the other race may be, they may more so take the anger out on the women and make like, okay, you ain't gonna give us baby, we gonna make that you gonna give us a child with regardless of whether you want to do it or not before they can
Exactly.
afford to actually go
Now
out and
you're
bring bitches
talking.
people over. Honey, you right.
Exactly. Before they mass immigrate a group of women, they gon' that's the Handmaid's Tale. Please, if you are any type of feminist, you want to join any type of 4B movement, read the Handmaid's Tales first, and then come back and have this
Girl,
conversation because
that book.
that will prove to you how sinister American men can really get, and that's based. Just read the Salem witch trials for Christ's sakes. Read that. Read books on
Mm-hmm.
slavery.